I'm winning. Can't tell me I'm not. Yeah. Ain't nobody gon' tell me I'm not. I'm winning. Can't tell me I'm not. Yeah. Ain't nobody gon' tell me I'm not. I'm winning. Can't tell me I'm not. Ain't nobody gon' tell me I'm not. I'm winning.
Let's go.
Nobody gon' tell me I'm not.
Both fists raised, we praise God for victory. The enemy can celebrate in the face of my enemy. The energy I used to hate no longer part of me. So pardon me for trusting the vengeance to the one who wants to see. He paid the fee so I can go free. I call that bail money. Chasing back so you can be rich. I call that fail money. Sowing out so you can reap later. I call that well money. Wise with the talents he gave us. Yeah, that's how we coming. We ain't running, never back down. Even if we take the L, greater is the one that's in me. Then he that's in the world. We the first, cause we were last and now the roads flip. We the light and he keeps us on. The breaker never trips. We ain't running, never back down. Even if we take the L, greater is the one that's in me. Then he that's in the world. We the first, cause we were last. The roads are now flipped. We the light and he keeps us on. The breaker never trips.
Can't tell me I'm not. Ain't nobody gon' tell me I'm not. I'm winning. Can't tell me I'm not. Ain't nobody gon' tell me I'm not. I'm winning. Can't tell me.
All right. What's up, Be Honest Universe, Be Honest Nation, Be Honest People. Let's be honest today. My man Mike is here. He's ready to be honest. Mike, you ready to be honest, baby?
Always. What's up, Be Honest Universe?
Representing the NYC, all four boroughs. He said he never lived in Staten Island. But shout out to the Wu-Tang, you know what I'm saying? Those of y'all watching the Wu-Tang saga, it's pretty nice. So we still representing the NYC. And then all the way from the South, all the way to the South, the man in the South, representing the whole South, the whole dirty South himself, all the way, all of it. My man Arnell, a.k.a. Patience. Say what's up to the people. You ready to be honest, man?
I'm ready. And first of all, I don't represent the whole dirty South.
Whole entire South.
Just the A.
Mike represents all four boroughs. Mike represents all four boroughs. You represent the whole South.
I represent Atlanta.
Harlem Mic.
I represent Atlanta. ATL, the city. That's
what's cool. I'm here with the cats from the infamous, famous show Sabbath Sneakers. You know, these cats are working on what, season 4, season 5? What's going on? What was it, 3, 4, 5? What is it? Are y'all syndicate now? Is y'all like flowing on radio?
What? Hey, speak it.
Speak it, brother. Go ahead.
It's coming.
In the name.
So what season y'all working on now?
We're in season 2, bro.
Season 2. Yo, I've been watching y'all clips recently about creases and stuff like that in shoes. Y'all need to do a tutorial, man, because honestly, I don't think the average person knows how to take care of a sneakers. They just buy a sneaker, the first probably 2 weeks, they protect it like it's a newborn baby, and then after a while, it's just like, you know. So there's some stuff I've been seeing on your posts on IG. I'm like, dude, I broke all of those commandments. If there was
we trying to help you out.
Trying to help.
Y'all need to do a tutorial, man. Y'all need to do a tutorial, man, on how we're supposed to take care of sneakers. But anyway, man, what's up?
Sabbath Sneaker. If you tune into the Sabbath Sneaker IG, we got you.
Tell the people where to get it from right now. So just in case they don't want to listen to us talk no more, they can go listen to your sneakers. Tell them how to tune in.
Yo, of course you guys can. Sabbath Sneaker Podcast is on iTunes, Spotify, Breaker, Anchor. Just go and type in Sabbath Sneakers. Everywhere you listen to podcasts, type in Sabbath Sneakers and follow us on IG at Sabbath Sneakers. That's all you need to know.
Cool. And they're on season 2. That's so dope, man. That's so dope. Yo. Before we get into our topic today, y'all, we're talking about mandating vaccinations. You know what's going on with Kyrie, homegirl from ESPN resigned because she said, I'm not going to do that, and others. And so we're going to talk about, before that, Patience, you dropped a new single, man. Tell us about that new single, man. What was the Money Bag? What's it called? Bling Bling? What's it called?
It's called Secure the Bag. Secure the Bag. Secure the bag. So listen.
So yesterday's price is not today's price, huh?
You already know. It's called Secure the Bag, man. Y'all can go stream it right now. Go stream it right now. iTunes, Spotify, wherever you stream music, man. Pick it up right now. I'd be greatly appreciated.
Secure the
yeah,
bag.
man, it's just, you know, giving some context, you know, to what that term means for me. You know what I mean? And we trying to secure the bag not only here but throughout eternity. So y'all go ahead, listen to it, man. Tune in if you like it, man. Make sure you stream it. You can buy it, whatever you want to do. Download it. I appreciate all of that.
That's when you know he's animated.
Run them numbers up.
Run them way up, way up, way up, way up.
That's when you know he's animated about it because he's clapping his hand. You know what I'm saying? That's when
he got the New York. He got the New York clap. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? See, we influenced him. We influenced him.
Yeah. He might be from the South, but he got some Northern in him. Yeah. Have you finally got people? You got finally people from the South on y'all show because it seems like all of y'all guests is from New York.
Yo, man.
He doesn't. He set up all the guests, so he secretly loves us. Not secret. It's public. He loves New York. He does.
Listen, it don't be on purpose, bro. It don't even be on purpose.
No, it don't be on purpose.
So
it's
I
just
be like, so
great
tell me where you from. They be like, yeah, I grew up in the Bronx. I grew up in Harlem. I'm like, oh my God, here we go.
Because he know. As soon as they say that, he know I'm going crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, we here. But he knows.
So shout out to all the New Yorkers who've been on the show and all.
You gotta shout them out, man, because listen, like it or not, you will be a fool.
So talking about the Big Apple,
you know,
talking about the Big Apple, the big city, New York, We got we're gonna talk sports today, but not generally just sports or bouncing the ball or whatever. Something that's gonna affect the bouncing of the basketball this season, right? Everybody had their predictions that it more than likely it was gonna be the Lakers from the West versus the East, the Nets, the Brooklyn Nets, not the New York Knicks, but the Brooklyn Knicks. But don't count us out. Do not count the Knicks out.
We counted you out. Keep moving. We're counting you out.
We already counted you out.
Hey, we didn't count out Atlanta, okay? We gave y'all a shot.
Because
y'all
better than you. That's right. We're counting you out.
We took
even though what
90% of
the East had to get injured for y'all to play, but y'all, it's okay.
What?
You were out.
What? Listen, we
want to talk about not just NBA, but we want to talk about this other thing that's going on in New York called mandatory vaccination. Mandatory vaccination. New York City, as y'all know, this was kind of under Governor Cuomo's mandate before he resigned to make sure every business, every employer to get vaccinated. And this is affecting Mike's predictions and his gambling bets for the NBA Finals.
Lying to the people. This is called Be Honest, not Be Lying.
I know.
Because Kyrie Irving, the legend himself, the man is a beast. The man is a beast. Uncle Drew himself has decided that he's not going to take the vaccine, or he's not going to accept the mandate. He wants to play part-time, and they won't give him that option. That way he don't have to play in New York. So right now some people are trying to force him to retire, tell him to retire. Some are saying, go Kyrie. And then some are saying, dude, you are a fool for blowing $28 million for the year. So what's your thoughts on that? Let's just jump right into the Kyrie's conversation, and then we'll talk more about what's your thoughts on the whole Kyrie? Y'all know Kyrie. Every year Kyrie's been in ESPN News. Every year something's going on with Kyrie. So what's your thoughts, just generally speaking, about Kyrie as a basketball player before we talk about the whole vaccination? Tell me about Kyrie, your thoughts on Kyrie as an athlete.
Well, I mean, okay, so I'll go first and let Mike jump in. First of all, I mean, Kyrie as an athlete is, I mean, his ability to dribble the basketball, break penetration, finish at the rim is second to none. I mean, other people have compared him to AI. They've compared him to other people, his ability to do those things. But, I mean, you want to talk about somebody who has a complete game. He has a complete game. When people say he couldn't assist the ball, He did that. Whatever you need him to do on the basketball court within, that, whatever, what do you call it? 94 feet? Is it 80 something, 94 feet, whatever it is, whatever's in that 94 feet, he can do it. All right.
Yeah.
He can do it. So as an athlete, you know what I mean? His skill is unmatched and it's supreme, man. We know Steph Curry can do things with the basketball, but Kyrie, I've watched his highlights and stuff. It's otherworldly the way he can dribble, break penetration. You can send 2 or 3 people at him. It don't even matter. So I mean, he's unmatched as a hooper. That's what he is. He's a hooper. As a hooper, man, he's unmatched. So that's how I feel about that.
Mike?
Yeah, I echo that. I mean,
I've never seen you play basketball, Arnell, so I don't really know if you're a hooper or not.
Yeah, man. You ain't know. I'm a church league legend. What?
There you go.
Never heard about
it. Church league legend.
Never heard about
Ask about him in the A, man.
Back-to-back champion.
Never heard about
96, 97 in Atlanta. You better ask. You better ask the people in South Atlantic.
Never heard about you. Let me type in your name right now. Let me type your name in right now.
Church league legend. I got the trophies to prove it. I got trophies.
Don't let them bring them out. Don't bring them out. Bring them out.
I'll bring them out. I got trophies to prove. I'm a church league legend. My mid range was like Kawhi. You better ask him.
Oh boy.
Talk to him.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right, Mike. Harlem Mic, go ahead and tell us. Let's be honest for a moment. Go ahead, Harlem Mic.
So Uncle Drew, I affectionately call Kyrie Uncle Drew. I remember those commercials. Like I thought the whole persona of Uncle Drew was phenomenal. Yeah. So I don't know if he's still. He seems like he's gone away from it in recent years, even after the movie. But I've always liked him as that kind of player. So Kyrie is a phenomenal basketball player, particularly offensively. He's not really that great defensively, even though he tries. But offensively, as Patience said, he has no real weaknesses offensively. He is one of those prototypical triple threats, dribble, pass, shoot. He can do it all. And interestingly enough, as a smaller guard, he likes to post up and can post up. So Kyrie has a complete game. His handle, because I'm a Steph Curry fan, so I'll argue that Steph Curry's is equal. But it's like really a 3-way tie between Kyrie, Steph, and Chris Paul in terms of handle. But Kyrie's finishing at the rim, that's unmatched. Like the way his layup package, all of the different layups that he does is incredible. There's at least 1 or 2 plays in a game where Kyrie's gonna have you like this, where you're gonna be like, how did he get through that? Like,
how did he get that off?
How did he break that press? How did he finish like that?
Yeah.
And so, and he's got the killer instinct too. So he adds that on. Yeah. That's the most dangerous thing you could have: the talent and the mentality. Because a lot of people are athletic, a lot of people can dribble, a lot of people can finish at the rim. But when you have the want to, the desire to do that, to yo, I'm killing everybody on here. Of course, the basketball sense. He got that Kobe mentality. Kobe was his idol. So rest in peace to the Mamba. So Kyrie's an incredible athlete, an incredible basketball player to watch.
Got you. So all right. So let's go away from the athlete. So as we mentioned before, every year it seemed like every year since the year of the championship with Cleveland. What year was that, Mike? Was that 2000 what?
2016.
2016, man. This dude knows we're going to nickname you Stats from now on. Stats. That's your nickname.
Had that name for a while, man.
So 2016, every year we've been talking about Kyrie. Not just his athletic abilities, but some kind of drama, some kind of something going on with Kyrie. And so the latest now is the vaccination mandate in New York City. All right. So I don't want to disrespect the dude. I really don't, because I knew personally, yes, I just recently got vaccinated about maybe a month ago, and I had my concerns. I got just
it's been about 4 days.
Huh?
It's been about 4 days.
It was not man. Leave me alone, man. I got both vaccines. The second one was brutal. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know, the next day I was in my pillows shriveling up or whatever for a moment. You know, I was like, dang, I'm more cold sweat. Whatever. But anyway, I too, had my doubts big time. And I'm saying, I still have my doubts. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, yo, I'm a man of faith. You see the shirt, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, no weapon formed against me. I was like, all right, God, I'm gonna put it in your hands and do it. But not everybody's like that. What's your thoughts in general about people? This is not, and let me just say to our listeners, we are not doing the whole pro-vaccine, no vaccine. That's not a conversation. We're just here for you all to think. What's your thoughts about people who, like Kyrie, would rather walk away from a job, like take it to that extreme? I know everybody has their right, but people who take it to that extreme to say, I'll walk away from a job, I'll walk away from $28 million for my view or opinion on this vaccine. What's your thoughts on this whole vaccine boycott?
All right, so I'll give you mine really quick. First and foremost, I respect his right to do that. Okay, if he feels strongly convicted, and after watching his IG live, you know, he was all over the place. So I'm not even sure if he really believes what he's saying, because he said he's not anti-vax, but he doesn't want to take the vaccine. He's just saying that because he doesn't believe that people should be losing their jobs. And so he's just all over the place. All right. In my opinion, which, if you know Kyrie, that's not uncommon. Well, I'll say this. I don't know Kyrie, but the persona that he presents to us, that I have, it's not uncommon for him to be all over the place. Because we heard flat Earth, all this other stuff, aliens. We've heard about all this stuff.
Yeah, but people still talk about that.
Right. No, we're gonna He walked it back like a year or two ago.
He did. And so that's why, personally, I'll be honest with you guys. I think eventually he's going to get vaccinated. I'll be honest. Because if he walked back the flat Earth thing. So I'm just like, there is a chance that he'll get, because he was just as dogged about that. So I think eventually he will be, because if you watch his IG live, he said, I'm not saying I'll never get vaccinated. I'm not saying that I'm just going to give up this money, right? But he feels like right now he needs to take a stand basically to represent the people who don't want to get vaccinated and they're losing their jobs. And which to me is crazy, because I'm like, bro, you not really losing your job. You still gonna get $18-something million for sitting at home. Yeah. Those people who walked off their job, they not getting nothing. They're not even gonna get unemployment. They're not getting nothing. They're not getting nothing. So that's why, and that's kind of my thing. Like, how can you represent them when you're not in the same boat as them? You see what I mean? You're not. Okay. As far as the vaccine mandate and people choosing not to get vaccinated, I respect their right. But my thing is this: I respect their right not to get vaccinated. However, I also respect the company's right to institute a vaccine mandate if they believe that that is what's going to provide them the best opportunity to continue in business. Because think about this. Let's be honest. They're trying to continue in business as safely as possible and doing what's best. Let's be honest. They're in business. They want to make money. Okay. We'll just say the NBA. All right. Other businesses in New York as well. They want to make money. All right. So in order for them to do that, of course, we understand, and nobody has ever said that the vaccine is 100% foolproof. You'll never get COVID. You'll never get sick. But what it does is it decreases, from what my understanding, I'll just speak for myself. From my understanding, it decreases the chances that you will not only contract the virus, but spread the virus to someone else. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So the CDC is also recommending that you not only get vaccinated, but continue to wear your mask and wash your hands and socially distance. They're saying that's the best way to slow and even stop the spread of the coronavirus. All right. I am in alignment with that. However, for those who choose not to wear a mask and do all that other stuff, and they don't want to social distance, they don't want to take the vaccine. Personally, I think that's reckless. I think that's reckless. I do. Because I could see if you say, I don't want to take the vaccine, but guess what? I'm going to socially distance. I'm going to make sure I stay away from people. I'm going to wash my hands. I'm going to respect other people as well. But when you're saying, I just want to do what I want to do, I don't want to respect nobody else. You may be asymptomatic, but you could pass it on to someone who could be very vulnerable. And it could really hurt them. And it could push them to a point of no return. So I think that point is reckless. However, I respect his right to choose, but I think if you're gonna say, well, I'm gonna carry on my daily life, I'm gonna go to grocery stores, I'm gonna go to parties, I'm gonna go where everybody is, but I'm not gonna do anything that the CDC or any of these medical professionals are recommending. I'm not gonna get vaccinated. I'm not even gonna get a COVID test. I'm not gonna wash my hands. You see what I'm just gonna pretend as if coronavirus is not real and just live my life. To me, that's reckless. That is reckless. That's reckless. Because here's the thing. Prior to coronavirus, I wouldn't even recommend nobody do that during flu season. You see what I'm saying? Why would you do that? If you getting sniffles and all of that stuff, they tell you, don't come to work. Don't go here. Don't go out. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it's a contagious virus. And you shouldn't want to give that to someone else because their immune system may not be as strong as yours. You could recover and get going on, but it could take them out. So to me, that's reckless. I respect. So I want to be clear. I just said a lot. So I want to be clear where I am.
A whole lot.
I did. I want to respect Kyrie's right to choose.
Yeah.
All right. I respect his right to choose. If that means sacrificing not only this year's salary, but if he holds this out, this could cost him his career altogether. Because I don't see what other team is going to pick him up. I can't see that because New York has this in place. I'm anticipating other cities will follow.
Yeah. Didn't the same thing happen with
in San Francisco with Andrew Wiggins?
But also your boy from
Washington?
No, the quarterback. Cam
Newton.
Cam did the same thing. Like
he's vaccinated now.
He's vaccinated now.
But everybody assumed that's probably why he lost his spot.
Yeah.
That was
part of the conversation.
But it did. Come on, let's be honest. It did.
One guy was vaccinated, the other one wasn't.
Exactly.
I'm going to pick the guy that's vaccinated.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was part of the conversation, and they're losing dreadfully now. But anyway, before we go to Mike, I want to give a big shout out of respect. Unfortunately, this week we lost it's just basically a general in Black culture, the first African American Secretary of State. That is the general himself, Colin Powell, in Jamaica. We understand his mother was Jamaican, so it was called Colin in Jamaica. That's another story. But Colin Powell, who lost his life from COVID, from symptoms from COVID. So here we go once again, we're just gonna show a little bit of respect for him. So I'm gonna show this quick video, just a B.Honest tribute to the general himself, and we'll be right back. And Mike's gonna take over the floor and share his thoughts on the whole vaccination and the whole Kyrie and other athletes taking a stand and how it's affecting us. So we'll be right back with B.Honest Universe. We're back. We are back. And once again, honor to General Colin Powell's family, his years, whether we agreed with some of his philosophies and views, but we got to give the man respect. I mean, come on. The man was the highest general in the United States for African American. And so salutes to him and his life and all that he contributed. And he was they later part, there was a time he was going to be president. Remember, they wanted him to run for president and he chose not to. But Mike, let's go ahead and hear your thoughts on this whole mandatory vaccination and Kyrie and so forth. Let's hear your thoughts on that, man.
Man, it's so many ways so many levels to this conversation because what the conversation Kyrie's in, or not Kyrie, but NBA players in general, and all athletes that are dealing with these vaccine mandates. The first thing that I thought, which I thought was particularly interesting, especially with his IG Live, was this kind of shock as if it happened. But he mentioned like he thought there would be an exemption for him because I don't think he could have been shocked about a vaccine mandate. This had been hinting for a while across the country. We saw in August when President Biden made the mandates for those within his staff. And so when we look at the vaccine, I believe the first person was vaccinated in December of 2020. So we're talking about almost a year of the vaccines being out and people being vaccinated. So this is not like something that just snuck up on everyone. And particularly over the summer months, because you basically saw the country going in stages. At first it was, yay, we have a new vaccine. It's really good for you. And then they kind of just said, okay, not a lot of people are getting it. Now we have to shift to, let's do more education about it because of all the different conspiracy theories out there. Then it was like, okay, now we're going to be more harsh about talking about the vaccine. And in that moment, in the back of everyone's mind, they should have heard mandate because that was it. We were trending towards a mandate. So the mandate didn't really shock anyone. We knew it was coming. It's just it's moving slower than as expected in terms of the whole country doing it. Here in Texas, Governor Abbott tried to jump ahead of it. So last week he issued an executive order that you can't have any vaccine mandates. So in general, we knew it was coming, but specifically with Kyrie, and I think it's been happening a lot in this country. First of all, I think I'm different as or opposite patience as it relates to respecting his decision. I don't really respect it from the standpoint of, but if we talk about this bigger issue of, because like he said, he wants to be the voice for people, but you want to be the voice. And to me, it's interesting. You want to be the voice for people who don't want to get vaccinated, but you don't want to be a voice for the 715,000 that died, or the people that could have died. Now, what does that speak to? That speaks to what Patient mentioned it, a general understanding of what the vaccine is supposed to do. This is why it was confusing for him to say he's not anti-vax, but taking the position he's taking is a position that typically those who are anti-vax take. Because it boils down to, do you believe what the medical professionals, the overwhelming majority, and I want to say that because what we get into this conversation, it's always like, well, it's 50 doctors on this side and it's 50 doctors on the other side. And so how do you choose? Well, it's not actually a 50-50 split where you don't know. There's an overwhelming group that believes in the efficacy of vaccines. And then there's this little minority. And of course, somebody's going to say when they see this, well, the minority is only there because they haven't elevated it enough. But the pharmaceutical company, and then you get into the weeds. Whereas the rest of us understand, we've been doing vaccines in this country for 30 years, 30 to 40 years. All of us have been vaccinated. None of us grew arms and legs or glow in the dark. So to me, what represented in a lot of ways, Kyrie, Andrew Wiggins, Bradley Beal, and a lot of people in general, just having a conversation about non-vaccines, and what Kyrie voiced is what we've seen in society is the ever increasingly obsession with me. Everything is about me. When you listen to that 24-minute IG live, and I actually took notes last week when I listened to it because I wanted to be fair to him. I said, let me listen. Now, someone can say, oh, well, you was biased. You already had an opinion. I actually liked some of Kyrie's stances. Perfect example. Last year when he said that things are bigger than basketball and players shouldn't play because of the George Floyd situation, all that, I agree with him. Well, I also agree with that statement now. It's bigger than basketball, Kyrie. It's not just that you can't be there for your teammates. It's that you can infect someone with COVID.
Exactly.
That's what we're talking about. So if you want to isolate, if you say no vaccine, cool, but just stay in the house. Don't go anywhere. Don't be around anyone.
Yeah.
You don't want to be vaccinated, but you want to be around other people. That is, to me, that is a detriment to others. And he kept mentioning different things. I'm going to read one of the things he said. He said, it's crazy times right now. How many people are really thinking with a balanced view? How many people are really thinking about the future of what's going on out here? We just came off the craziest pandemic of all time, and you're telling me to think rationally. How many people are really thinking rationally? What that revealed to me was what I've seen, what's been consistent. If you take all Kyrie's history, Cleveland Cavaliers, Boston Celtics, and in Brooklyn, it revealed that he is not a leader. And why it reveals that is because the leaders actually show up when it's chaos.
Yeah.
That's when the leadership is revealed. The leadership is not always revealed when everything is calm and fine. Because you can't think balanced in this moment. Fair. Everybody's not built to lead in this space.
Facts.
But don't make it seem like others are not thinking rationally when they're making these decisions. I think part of that is, again, when you're on social media and you're obsessed with the echo chamber and everyone tells you how wonderful you are.
Yeah.
Nobody said you have more likes than you have dislikes. Then you are so self-absorbed that when you do that, you live in your own prison. I used to do the same thing. It's difficult. And I'm not saying I've reached this utopia and I'm right. It's Jesus and then Mike Miller. No. What I am saying though is as you get older, you start to recognize your obsession with yourself at the detriment of others. And that's what this conversation comes down to. Keep in mind, the same people that are saying, no, it's my body, it's my right to choose with the vaccines, those were the same people last year that said, it's my body, you can't put a mask on me. Those were the same people that said, oh, it's my body, I could go wherever I want, I'm not social distancing. So notice the trend. Me, mine, I. My man Patience. Last year we was having a conversation. My man hit me with the bar of the year. He said, he just gave an example as if he was speaking to someone saying about the mask, but I think it applies now to the vaccine. He said, Patience told me, he was like, for this one time, can you just not think about you? Just for this one time. Can it not be about you? Can you consider someone else? I'm going to just end it here. I preached this past Sabbath, I preached a sermon. I was talking about love. And I talked about how I don't want the needles. I don't just ask, hey, can someone poke me in the arm with a needle because I just like them? Even though I have tattoos, I don't like needles. But what I explained was, I got the vaccine because I love you. Because I love you. I want to make sure when I'm around you, if this is what has been consistently the way that we rid our country of infectious disease, this has been consistent. This is not new technology. It's just better technology that we're building on. If this is the way, then I will sacrifice a little bit of pain or the potential for me to glow in the dark in 10 years. I will sacrifice that because I love you.
Yeah.
Because it's not always about me. Because to what my man told me, at this time, just this time, I'm not going to think about me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be as long-winded as you two, but that was some heavy stuff that you both are sharing there. One of the crazy things is, I've been in and out of the hospital past 2 years. Those who know me personal, I struggle with high blood pressure, and it's interesting. Like, doctor will come to me like right there in the spot, like, yo, you need to take these pills for such and such, and I think they put something in my IV that was just like had me bugging for like 2 minutes, but I didn't go on the whole like, yo, let me see the prescription, let me see like everything that's in there, let me see the ingredients and everything that's in there. And like you said, Mike, we've been taking vaccines. I mean, think about it. Most of us, there are some people who are completely, even for infants, those are true vaccinators.
They go all the way with it.
Yeah, those are true. Yeah, exactly. Don't be the anti-vaccinator just for this. Because if something you are rushed to the ER, if you're rushed to the ER and it's like, yo, we need to put this shot into you now, we need to put it in it, you're gonna be like, okay, whatever it needs to save my life. Right. True anti-vaccine is like, yo, is there another way? Is there herb? Is there some incense that I can smell?
They ain't getting in the ambulance.
Exactly. The
ambulance is man-made.
No, they don't trust the government. They don't trust the medical.
Nothing. There you go. Go there.
Let's be honest. And then also another thing too, because y'all was mentioning, a lot of people say, "Oh, this is my body." Some of these conservatives that are saying that is a funny thing, which I know we have a different view, and the reason for this behind this. But some of the conservatives saying that are saying also to the ladies who say, "This is my body." Yeah. When it comes to abortion, I'm saying, how is it now is your body when it comes to a general thing that can help save the population? But when the young ladies want to take because they were raped or whatever and say, hey, you know what, I don't want to keep this baby. Like I said, that's not the conversation, but I'm just giving you how the hypocrisy about it.
The hypocrisy.
So true anti-vaccinators are people who listen, I don't even want the tetanus shot. Don't give me none for measles, for mumps, smallpox, nothing.
Smallpox, nothing.
None of that. You know what I'm saying?
Go right around and give us all measles.
Exactly.
We had an outbreak in New York a couple years ago, but behind people just believing that vaccines give autism. Come on, bro.
Wow.
This stuff is getting scary out here, man.
Serious. And like I said, me and myself, it took me a while. My wife and I, we did our best for research, but at the end of the day, I was like, yo, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. I'm just a man of faith. And I was saying to myself, and let me just say this bluntly. If the government really wanted to get us, man, they would have got it in the food. They would have got it in the water. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, man.
You all walk around with this all day long.
Exactly.
All day long.
I was about to say that. Listen. I was about to say the other N-word. A Negro like me. I'm trying to be more educated, Mike. I'm trying to be more educated. A Negro like me. Phil, you put it in some chicken. Put in something in my curry for my curry goat. You know what I'm saying?
Bro,
you would have definitely got me.
The stuff we talk on, be honest. Yo, if the government wanted to get us, they'd have got us already, bro. Ain't nowhere to hide.
Bro.
They found Osama in a hole.
You would have gotten me. Spread out like this.
They found Saddam in a rat hole in Iraq. Bro, they can find you. There's no place to hide. There's no place to hide.
You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I'm not mocking people, but just be true. Be honest. You know what I'm saying? Because I said there are true anti-vaccinators out there, and we respect them. But if you just trying to be somebody...
No, he gave them like a superhero name. Anti-vaccinators. He gave them they're like
anti-vaccinators.
They're like a villain. They're like a villain. He gave them a superhero name. Like an evil villain from like a comic book. The anti-vaccinators. I never heard of them.
It's funny you said that. You were saying earlier how people do things for likes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you want to say certain things or do certain things because you got certain likes out there, whatever the case. So people are not being authentic. You know what I'm saying? This is what we're trying to do the show to just be honest about really what's going on out there. You know what I'm saying? But real quick, let's just talk about now choice and mandate. Should this thing be a choice, especially in this particular situation? It's not like the common flu. It's not like smallpox. Well, smallpox was 300, 400 years ago. when that thing was really doing some damage.
18 something, yeah.
1800. Yeah. You know, it's not like you're a historian here. You got
I looked it up.
Statistics guy here. We have a historian. You know, kudos to you guys. Valedictorians in school. You know, I barely made the C club. You know what I'm saying? But anyway,
hey, you got out, brother. You got out, man.
I got my degrry. All right, I got my degree.
Barely. But you got it.
It doesn't matter, but I got it though, right?
Barely got it. His chinny chin.
By the grace. Hey, I didn't graduate by grace. I graduated by grace, baby.
There you go.
Amen. There you go.
But, you know, we talk about all these shots, all these things, you know. Yeah. But in this particular case, this is, like I said, we just getting our kids, you know, the older ones vaccinated because they're old enough now. And we had to do it prayerfully. Trust me, you know, especially with my oldest son's condition with asthma. We didn't want to play. We didn't want to play around with it.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
They have given them other shots that we didn't question. Seriously.
Come on.
So he takes every 8 weeks. He takes every 8 weeks of infusion. My wife and I, well, my wife has, but not me. I haven't looked at the ingredients and like, okay, what is this tyrosine? What is that? You know, none of that. So let's just be real. That's what I'm saying. And I was not trying to mock the anti-vaccinators or whatever. Let's just be honest. And let's be truthful to yourself. If you're that type of person, kudos to you, respect to you. But for us, it was just like, yo, let's just be safe. You know what I'm saying? But should this thing be mandatory or should this be a choice? Because it's something now that's affecting the world. We're not talking about just United States. We're not talking about a set of group of people. We're talking about the whole entire world. Should it be mandatory? Mike, you go first. Your thoughts real quick on should it be mandatory or this a choice? And then Patience, you.
Yep, it should be mandatory. They tried to give you a choice. Seat belts are mandatory. You can't drink and drive. When it's public health involved, you can do whatever you want to do. You can drink as much as you want in your house. Get behind the wheel of a car and do it. You going to jail. Period. Yo, listen. You've been hearing everybody say it. Everybody gets the freedom of choices, but you are not free from consequences.
Nope.
Yes. This is everybody else's life involved, bro. And like I said, if you look at the trajectory, they did not mandate immediately. They walked it through slow play. They kept trying. Fauci was on every single show you could think of. He was on IG Live. He was on they had black doctors just for us. Because a black woman, I believe, that helped. That was part of the process.
Exactly. She was actually the first person to take it. Too.
Yeah, they did everything they could to do it the quote unquote choice way. And then after a while, Delta came and they was like, whoa, this is a spike. We're never gonna get out of this situation if we just say, well, we'll just wait for everybody to choose. I believe they had conversations just like this about seatbelts. Well, I don't want to wear it. It's not up to you to tell me what to wear in my car. They're like, yeah, but you could die though, and you can hurt other people. So we're gonna mandate it, and then the government stepped in. It's the same thing. Look, another conversation. They're having a conversation about social media right now, where she was Mrs. Haugen. She was Frances Haugen. She exposed how Facebook is basically taking all our information and manipulating us. So what did she talk about? Federal oversight. There needs to be government regulation.
Yeah.
Because they did the same thing with the tobacco industry. It's the same thing here. This is a public health crisis. So if you believe it is a public, because that's what it comes down to. If you believe it's a public health crisis, then you have to do something for the public good. That would be a mandate. If you don't think it's a public health crisis, then sure, leave it as a choice, and it is what it is. But I absolutely believe they should mandate.
That's heavy. That's heavy that you said that there. Arnell?
Yeah, man. Listen, Mike said it perfectly. I personally believe this is a public health crisis, and the number of people who have died should be overwhelming evidence that this is a public health crisis.
Yeah.
You know, I forget the number, but it's over millions.
It's 715 in this country alone.
Just in this country, but worldwide,
it's over 1 million.
That's what
Come
I'm
on,
saying.
man.
It's a public health crisis. It's a
Come on,
public health crisis, and Mike took all the talking points, the correct ones, which is talking about seatbelts. I went back and I looked it up. Like, then there are some old clippings from when they were mandating seatbelts, and people were acting the same way. The government just wants to control us. You know, they don't want us to. They're trying to restrict our freedoms. This is the U.S. We should have the freedom to do this. The freedom to. It was the same way. It was the same way. But now that seatbelts have, I mean, ever since I've been alive, there have been seatbelts. So it's a norm for me, right? It's the norm for me. And now it just seems so ludicrous that anyone would feel that way about wearing a seatbelt when the evidence shows it's not even close. Wow. The protection versus the liability. You see what I'm saying? The liability if you're wearing one versus what you don't have. And in addition to that, they've added airbags and all these other things to try to make sure you're safe.
Make sure you're safe, man.
To protect you. And then on top of that, I think what really drove it home for me was the point Mike mentioned about drinking and driving. That is a public health crisis. You see what I'm saying? That and it's mandated. It should. I don't know how it is in other parts of the world, but here it is universal across the United States. Now, will people still choose to drink and get in their cars and drive? Yes, they will. But there is a universal law that if you get caught drinking and driving, you get hit with a DUI, can cost you your license, your ability to drive and all of that stuff. Why? Because it's not just saying, well, it's my body. I put alcohol in my body. It's my car. I'm only driving my car. No, you are a danger to someone else. Too many people, I don't know the numbers, but too many people have lost their lives to drunk drivers. Too many. I don't know the number, but it's too many. It's a public health crisis. And it's the same way here. It's not, okay, you know what? If the coronavirus was not contagious, I would still say this is a public health crisis. However, I would understand a little bit better when people say, oh, it's just my body. It's just me. I don't want to. But it is contagious. It's not just about you. You're affecting other people. Because let's be honest, you're not just going to stay. You say, well, I'm not going to wear a mask, not going to get tested, you're not going to stay in the house.
You can go outside.
You're not going to stay in the house. You're going to go to the store. You're going to go to
the stadium.
You're going to go everywhere else.
Concerts.
And potentially infect other people. So it is a public health crisis, and I agree. It should be mandated.
So, it's crazy that last year when we had a different administration, like the numbers were like spiking. We went to 500,000 in like months. And,
no time.
Since Biden took over and since the whole vaccine, it's kind of staggered. I mean, people are still getting COVID. Don't get me wrong. Still dying. Death is a death, whether it's one death or 10 deaths, it's a death. You know what I'm saying? But the numbers have like gotten a little slower. We're at 724. I was looking at it real quick. As of today, 724K. You know what I'm saying? That compared to last year, I mean, so obviously something is working here. You know what I'm saying? Something is working here. People are being a little bit more responsible, even though things are opening up. People are being more responsible. Generally speaking, people are vaccinated. If they're not vaccinated, they're wearing their masks. They're washing their hands. People are being more cautious. And I think it also goes with leadership. You mentioned earlier, Mike, with this, Kyrie's not really a leader. It goes with leadership. We had a leader last year of the country. Can't really call him a leader, but the way he was leading the country, it was chaotic. And he put false doubt in science and doctors, and he claimed that
the thought process was it would just go away in April.
Exactly. You drink some bleach, or when it gets hot, saying whatever the case may be, some hocus pocus stuff, just show the kind of person we was leading the country. We did that for 4 years. And if you can survive that for 4 years, you can survive the COVID shot.
Mercy.
Yo, Denry, that's it. That's my stamp. I'm not saying nothing. That's the only thing I'm saying to anybody that tells me about the vaccine. What you just said, that's it. That's it. That's it. If you can survive 4 years of that, you can take a shot of COVID.
You can take a shot of COVID.
You can go through that.
So, folks, before as we wrap up, we are not mandating, dude. We're not trying to, we agree that this is emergency. Go ahead, Mike.
Well, what did you say?
Yeah, what are your thoughts?
What are your thoughts? Mandate or no mandate?
Mandated or not?
Come on, man. Don't just get our answer and then sneak and try to end it. You see how you ended it?
In closing.
You try to sneak out. No, sir. No, sir. Go ahead and answer that. Go ahead. Go ahead and answer that. You got to sneak out of that. No, buddy. You put us on Front Street, we're going to put you right there with us.
So here, real case scenario. I'm not going to disclose too much information, but I did have a parishioner reach out to me, and they wanted a letter, because they was like their company was like, "Yo, it's mandatory," and they wanted a religious exemption, but we don't have one. It's not a commandment. It's not a religious violation. It's not like pork. It's like you can't find it in scripture says thou shalt not take the COVID vaccine. You can find in scripture says don't eat pork, don't eat shrimps and stuff like that. Right. You can find that. Right. You can find scripture about the Sabbath, what I'm saying, but to find a scripture about the COVID vaccine, I don't know. You guys are better theologians than me. Have you seen anything? So I had to go through all the chain of command, and basically they was like, "No, it's not there."
No, the conference has stated
we leave that up to the person's personal conviction. However, even in that letter, they were like, "Yo, just like you all are saying, we are a community. This is not whether you go into a dermatologist and you want to bleach your skin." Or you know what I'm saying, you want to get some bumps off your face. This is something that could wipe out a village.
Yeah, absolutely.
All it takes is one case, one person, wrong area, and it could literally wipe out a village.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't like to mandate things on people because I understand, but I hear what you're saying, Mike. And I remember as a kid, my dad used to put like 10 of us, 20 of us in his little Ford truck, Ford car, those little hatchbacks, and we had no seatbelts. And we was bouncing all up and down in the car, whatever the case may be. But then seatbelts are mandatory, and we live with it now. So I guess in the same light, if this is something that is to help us from stop dying, why not make it mandatory? You know what I'm saying? I mean, like I said, people are going to say my right is my right, but I'm gonna be the moderator in it. Hey, let's save. Don't worry about. It's not just about you, but you can save somebody else's life.
Absolutely,
but you can also save your life. Let's be honest.
Exactly.
You can save your life because there's a lot of people who were saying no vaccine, whatever, and now they're dead. Now they're dead.
Listen, I just want to say this real quick, man, because we started with Kyrie. I want to round it back real quick. I wonder if he would just take the time, or if he has picked up the phone to talk to Carl Anthony Towns, who has lost 6 family members, including his mother, to the coronavirus. Just have a conversation with him.
Wow.
That's all I'm asking. Just have a conversation with him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To see how the seriousness of this. This is not a joke.
Yeah. My grandmother in Jamaica. My grandmother in Jamaica died from this joint.
It's not a game, man.
Early this year. I don't know if I told y'all.
And it's no respecter of persons.
Yeah.
It's no respecter of persons. This is not.
It's a piece of your grandmother, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Listen, I preached about it in a sermon. A lot of my members were mad about it, but I did a simple poll. I asked everyone, I said, show of hands, how many people you know who have died of the vaccine? And one person raised their hand up, and I questioned. I said, now show of hands, how many How many of you have known someone that has had corona? Every hand went up. There's not a single person in this country that could say nobody I know has never had the coronavirus.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Like I said,
Come
my grandmother,
Come on.
my grandmother in Jamaica, she died from it earlier this
Come
year.
on, man.
You know, I thank
Come
God I
on,
got
man.
to see her last year when I went to Jamaica to do the funeral for my grandfather. But you know, she died from that joint, man, and she still had long years to go. We just celebrated her birthday, or whatever the case may be, and she contracted, and she was gone within days.
That's what
You
I'm
know what I'm
saying.
saying?
That's what I'm saying.
That would be great if Kyrie. I maybe he has a hazard, but it really is like have those conversations with the
Have
people
those
that had to
conversations.
bury someone because of that.
Exactly.
Like, come on, man.
This
Like,
man had to bury his mother.
Bro,
come
I'll
on,
tell
man.
you, I just did a funeral in Atlanta and down your hometown there, Arnell. And at first they thought it was COVID, but it wasn't. Right. But let me just tell you how the funeral home, how the graveyard people, they were just under restriction. I mean, it was strict policies.
Yeah.
Because they was making sure nobody got contaminated.
That's
it was
right.
so strict. Let me put it this way. It was so strict. You know, when they lowered the casket, the family, no one could be near that. So we had to step until we had to back up, like, I'm not talking about 6 feet. I'm not even talking about 10 feet. About 25 feet back, they wanted us on the pavement.
Dang.
And the lady was like, I don't want my staff to get infected.
Wow.
Bro,
you see what I'm saying?
Think about this context right here for everyone and all our Be Honest people, we love you. But just think about the context.
Yeah.
The first recorded coronavirus case was in December of 2019. We are 2 months away from December 2021. It's been 2 years, family.
Yeah.
It's been 2 years.
Yeah, you're right.
I would, and I want to say this. I know we're about to give our parting words, man. So let me go ahead and get mine now, okay? For those of you who are on the fence, or for those of you who feel like this is just a government conspiracy, right? I want to encourage you. The same doctor that you go to for your yearly checkup, your 6-month checkup, the one who you trust to evaluate your body and prescribe you medication accordingly, that you've probably been going to for years. Even if you don't believe what you're seeing on the news, even if you don't believe what you're seeing on social media, even if you think this is all being drummed up, if you trust this doctor enough to prescribe you medication and do all these things, go sit in their office and talk to them. Okay? Stop saying, I saw this on Facebook. I heard this on Twitter.
I read it online.
Stop it. Go to someone you trust. Because don't hit me with, I don't trust medical professionals. No, because prior to this, I know for a fact you have a primary care physician you were going to for checkups. You were doing all of this stuff. Most people, you're doing this stuff. Why is it that now all of a sudden they're in cahoots? It's this big conspiracy. No, you were trusting them. If you felt for the ladies, if you felt a lump in your breast, you're gonna go to the doctor to get an X-ray to find out if you have breast cancer. For the men, you see what I'm saying? When you need a prostate exam, like D said, you notice that something's not right, and you go and they tell you have high blood pressure. You're gonna say, "No, I don't have no high blood pressure. Let me go do some research." I don't believe that. You're not gonna do that. You're not gonna do that because you trust that you're trusting that they took their oath seriously, which is to do what? Do no harm.
No harm.
Okay? Right, so you trust that they took their oath, and you have the choice. If you don't have a primary care physician, you have plenty to choose from. But go and sit down, and because here's the point, and like D said earlier, at some point you gotta take a step of faith. You're not gonna know everything. You're not gonna know every single. You're not. You're gonna have to take a step of faith. You're gonna have to take a step of faith. And here's the thing. This is my last point, I promise. You're going to have to make a decision. It doesn't have to be a blind decision. It can be an informed decision, but still, at some point, you got to make a decision. Okay?
Yeah. You know, it's, I don't know. Before, Mike, I don't know. People are still not wearing condoms, and they know AIDS is out there. So I don't know. Maybe we're beating a dead horse.
It had to be sexual. What is wrong?
It had to be because it had to be because AIDS is still out there. AIDS is still out there. You know what I'm saying? And people are still dying. People are still suffering from AIDS and other STDs.
I don't mean to laugh because people do suffer from HIV and AIDS.
They don't want to first do what God said. First, they don't want to do what God said and wait until they're married, so they don't want to do that. And then they nasty. They don't want to cover up. So, I guess, that's just where we get. Mike, go ahead.
Okay. All right.
You messed up my whole vibe, B.
And then you put Mike up to follow that. Okay.
Yeah, right. Like you
go ahead, Mike. What's your thoughts about that? You go ahead, Mike.
My whole vibe, I don't even know how to go. Why did you do that? You just have to. This dude be getting freaky on a late night. I don't know what's wrong with it.
Speak up on that, Mike. Speak on that.
No, I'm not speaking on that. No, I'm not speaking on it. Listen.
Oh gosh.
We all share. Y'all know our professions by now. Chaplains to pastors.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be pastoral. That's just how I am. Listen, if you're on the fence, as Patience said, if you're still thinking about it, again, we are one community. No man is an island unto himself.
Exactly.
John chapter 15, verse 13. Yeah. Jesus is about to die. He is sitting with his disciples. They're eating Passover feast. He's about to die the next day. Mm-hmm. He starts giving them parting words. This is a guy that they love, his disciples. They love him. They love being around him. And Jesus explains a bunch of different things. In verse 13, he says, no greater love is this than one that would die for their friends.
Yeah.
Now's not the time to be isolated.
Yeah.
We need each other. I know you're worried. I know sometimes the government doesn't do everything on the up and up. If you've been listening to this podcast, you know how I do. So I am fully aware of how government has been against, particularly the ADOS extension Black community. But family, now is not the time.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself, but take care of others. This is the time where you can put others first, man. And that's God bless you too.
And by you putting others first, you're also taking care of yourself. Because we don't want you to feel for 1 second, because he said, love your neighbor as you love yourself. So if you truly love yourself, you know what I'm saying? You're going to do what's right by your neighbor, and you're going to do what's right by yourself. This is the Be Honest crew. We thank you for joining us, for, as Mike would say, for rocking with us. Thanks for just being able to listen to our conversation. We want to hear from you. We want to hear from you. Share, like, subscribe, share comments. We want to hear your thoughts. Who has a better smile, myself or Arnell? Whose beard is better, mine's or Mike? We want to hear all of that. But more than that, we want to hear about the topic we just spoke about and all the other topics. So this is the Be Honest Podcast crew. Mike, say peace to the people.
My people. Bye, man. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you. That was not too hard. And Arnell, say bye.
Peace out. Love y'all.
Peace. All right. See y'all next week, man. God bless y'all. Like we always say, what is it? Sometimes I forget. Be honest to God. Be honest to your neighbor. And most of all, what? Be honest with yourself. Peace. We'll see y'all next week. That was a pretty good spill, man. Good job, man. Arnell, don't drop the phone yet, man.
He was right there. You see his hand up there. He's like this.
Both fists raised, we praise God for victory. The enemy can celebrate in the face of my enemy. The energy I used to hate no longer part of me. So pardon me for trusting the vengeance to the one who parts the sea. He paid the fee so I can go free. I call that bail money. Chasing back so you can be rich. I call that fail money. Sowing out so you can reap later. I call that well money. Why?